Welcome back to our channel. Today we're delving into the captivating world of the Middle East, a region that goes by many names, but whether you call it the Middle East or Western Asia, one thing's for certain, it's a vast and diverse place that continues to captivate our attention. For decades, the Middle East has been synonymous with instability and violence, but why is that the case? To understand, we need to take a closer look at how the borders were drawn. To truly understand the roots of these conflicts, we must first examine the enduring consequences of the colonial legacy that still casts its shadow over the region. The main reason why conflicts and border disputes in the Middle East have persisted and expanded over time can be attributed to a combination of historical, political, and socio-cultural factors. Delving into colonial legacy, the arbitrary drawing of borders by European colonial powers, particularly during the 19th and 20th centuries, often disregarded ethnic, tribal, and religious divisions. This led to the creation of nation-states with diverse populations and competing interests, setting the stage for future conflicts. Nationalism and identity play a major role. The rise of nationalism in the region, especially during the 20th century, fueled aspirations for self-discrimination, determination, and territorial integrity among various ethnic and religious groups. Conflicting claims to land and resources, coupled with the desire to establish exclusive nation states, have contributed to ongoing disputes in Israel-Palestinian. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, rooted in competing national aspirations and historical grievances, has been a major driver of instability in the region. The establishment of Israel in 1948 and subsequent territorial disputes have led to multiple wars, uprising, and ongoing tensions. Gazing upon resource competition, the Middle East is home to a significant oil reserve, making control over energy resources a significant factor in regional conflicts. Access to water, fertile land, and strategic trade routes has also been a source of contention, exacerbating existing rivalries. Amidst proxy wars and regional power struggles, the Middle East has been a battleground for proxy wars, fueled by external powers seeking to advance their interests. Cold War dynamics and more recent geopolitical rivalries have amplified conflicts with countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia. Glossing over political instability and weak governance, many countries in the Middle East have experienced political upheavals, regime changes, and weak governance, creating power vacuums and enabling non-state actors to emerge. This instability has allowed conflicts to persist and expand beyond borders. It's important to note that these are the major reasons for conflicts and border disputes in the Middle East are multifaceted, interconnected, and vary across different countries and regions. Contrary to popular belief, the Middle East is far from monolithic. It's a tapestry of diverse religious beliefs, ethnic groups, and languages. As we explore this region, we'll uncover the fascinating intricacies of its border and the impact they have on its history. It begins with the rise of the Republican rebels, challenging the monarchist regimes in the Middle East. These monarchies, fearing the spread of revolution, decide to take action. Meanwhile, Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser, driven by Arab nationalism, decided to support the nationalist rebels in Yemen. He sent thousands of troops and tons of weapons to aid the cause, but if the conflict didn't go as planned, Egypt found itself engaged in a resource-intensive war, and often compared to its version of the Vietnam War. And just when things couldn't get worse for Nasser, Israel struck. The Six-Day War of 1967 saw Israel launching unexpected attacks, catching the Egyptian forces off guard. With Israeli settlers moving into the occupied territories, tensions escalate between Israel and the Arab and Islamic worlds. In 1970, the British Empire granted independence to Bahrain, Qatar, and UAE, leaving the region in a state of transition. Fast forward to 1973, Yom Kippur War, where Egypt and Syria joined forces to attack Israel. Although Israel emerged victorious, the war paved the way for peace between Egypt and Israel in 1979 through the Camp David Accords. The Yom Kippur War was also known as the October War, which erupted on October 6, 1973, when Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel during the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. But the peace agreement which they had was denounced by other Arab states, and Syria positioned itself as the primary backer of the Palestinian cause. Meanwhile, Lebanon experienced a devastating civil war with Syria and Israel both intervening. In 1979, Iran witnessed a revolution that overthrew the US-aligned monarchy, established a theocratic regime led by Ayatollah ruler Khomeini. Revolutionary Iran became the first Islamist government in the region, advocating for the exploitation of the Islamic Revolution. In the shadows of a tumultuous era, Iran found itself grappling with mounting discontent and disillusionment fueled by grievances that had been simmering beneath the surface for decades. The Iranian people, yearning for change and driven by a potent desire for justice and self-determination, rose against a backdrop of a US-aligned monarchy that had long since been a repressive and disconnected from the aspirations of its citizens. Lastly, let's explore a linguistic map, specifically the various dialects of Arabic. Each region represents a distinct linguistic community within the broader Arabic-speaking world. It becomes evident that many political borders fail to correspond with these linguistic realities. So why do the borders look the way they do? The answer lies in their international design by external powers, seeking to maximize chaos and unrest within the region. Now let's travel back in time before the 20th century. The Middle East was predominantly ruled by the Ottoman Empire. When the empire collapsed after World War I, the victorious Allies seized the opportunity to redraw the map. The infamous Sykes-Picot Line, a secret treaty signed by the British and French in 1916, divided the Middle East between their colonial interests. The repercussion of this division, particularly the border between Iraq and Syria, continues to fuel conflicts today. But that's not all. The borders of Iraq and Syria, as well as other countries in the region, were drawn to keep diverse communities together, often disregarding religious, ethnic and linguistic boundaries. Let's take a closer look at one specific example: the province of Khuzestan in Iran. Geographically, it lies outside the mountainous border of western Iran and is primarily inhabited by Arabs, not Persians. However, it is one of Iran's most oil-rich regions, which has led to ongoing conflicts over its control. The ramifications of these borders have been significant. Conflicting interests, power struggles and resource control have fueled instability in the Middle East, shaping its tumultuous history. So the next time you look at a map of the Middle East, remember that it's more than just lines on paper. It represents a complex tapestry of diverse communities, historical grievances and geopolitical rivalries. And that's a wrap for today's video on the modern Middle East first proxy conflict. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into history. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Goodbye for now.